same groups continue to devour our civil liberties. Events like this, I've done hundreds of these over the years, all over the place. Let me tell you, the work is done from the relationships that you make with the people that you are shoulder to shoulder with right now. Remember, our nation was started literally by a handful of people in a room with a dream. It wasn't done by the hundreds. It wasn't done by the thousands. It was done by the principled and the convicted. And I know that's who surrounds us today. So again, thank you all so much for coming out. We're going to get moving again here. Just kind of waiting a little bit. Waiting. I'm trying to introduce Tiny. Maybe Tiny can hear me.
Good, how are you?
Say Tiny's name again.
Sorry, yeah.
You can probably hear it on the speakers now, limping on his little crutches. There he is. I see him. Oh, he's taking a photo op right now. Swear to God, look over your shoulders. Too funny. So one of the things that I did want to talk about today is the dangers of preservation of liberty, the dangers of holding the line. So me personally, again, my name is Eric Rohde, and I'm a proud Washington 3%er. So let's go through the things I have been called in the national and international media. I've been called a Nazi. By the way, I think you all know I'm Jewish, so hey, whatever. I've been called a gun rights supporter. I've been called a constitutionalist. I've been called this, that, and the other thing. At the end of the day, do you guys want to know what I really am? I'm a civil rights activist. That's all this is. We're not talking about Republican ideations and beliefs. We're not talking about conservative beliefs. We're talking about human rights. You have the human right not to lose your job because you don't want an experimental vaccine shot into your blood. You have the human right to live because you want to fly Old Glory with the flag. You have the human right to live because you're a Republican and you're a conservative. But that's not what we're dealing with. And that's what we got to talk about because it's dangerous. I started this event talking about what are you willing to lose? And I talked about, are you willing to lose some time to become a PCO? Are you willing to lose some time to go gather some signatures? Are you willing to lose some time not to join? I don't even want you to join my org. That's a lie. I do. But I want you to go activate other people. I want you to get motivated. I want you to get going doing something. If you don't know where to start, then join one of the orgs that are here. But if you do, go take the initiative and go do it. And I mean that. But get ready because they'll try to take from you. I get death threats. I've been doxxed. But you know what I haven't been yet? I haven't been shot. I haven't been killed. But we do have people that have been shot. Literally for just being there. Like I said, listen, if one of my boys shot somebody with a gun, y'all, we'd be facing attempted murder. But recently, we had a Patriot brother that got shot. And they charged the shooter with assault in the first degree. Am I wrong?
You're right.
I'm right, aren't I, bro?
Yes, sir.
Assault in the first degree. Because you know what? It's a slap on the wrist if you kill a constitutionalist. But dare you speak against the socialist betters, they will lock you up and they'll take your way of life. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce my brother, my friend, Tiny from the Proud Boys. Get up here, Tiny. Can you get up here, brother?
I got it.
You got it?
Hello, hello. Oh, come on, guys. I'm pretty sure Jay Inslee in his mansion right now enjoying, a cup of coffee. Can't hear you guys. Make some noise for America! Come on, guys. That's not loud enough. When it's time to lead the charge, when it's time to put fear in the hearts of tyrants, we gotta be loud. Make some noise for America! USA! 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 What's up, Patriots? Yep, I'm Tiny. I know you guys are looking at me right now, but like, what the hell is Tiny?
White supremacist I ever seen.
I'm the most hated white supremacist, Nazi, sellout, Uncle Tom, house Negro, that, those are all the names that I've been called ever since I started taking a stand in 2017. But a little bit of background. The reason why they call me Tiny is because everybody always mispronounced my name. I got one of them Samoan names. I'm a Samoan from the island of American Samoa in the South Pacific. I was born and raised there, came here 2014 for better opportunities. And America not only gave me that, it gave me something more. It showed me freedom and liberty and how important we should cherish that. And my real name is Tusitala John Suafo'alau Tulilangito Ese. I try to make it short for people. Call me Tusi. Then they call me Tutsi, Sushi, all this stuff. I'm like, call me Tiny, you can't mispronounce that. I started 2017 taking a stand. Excuse me. When I wasn't always a Trump supporter. I hated Trump. I believed the media and everything. But when there was a Trump rally in Vancouver, Washington, I didn't go to it because it was a Sunday. And with Samoans, if you have any Samoan friends, you should know that on Sunday, Samoan rules is if you're not in church, you're at the house cooking something to eat. Then you stay in the house. So I look up videos to try to see these white supremacists. The first guy that I saw looked like a coconut like me. I'm like, hold up. I thought these people was white supremacists. What the hell is going on? And so I went to Berkeley, California at the first rally they had there. Show some love for Trump. And I came across like Latinos that are wearing MAGA hats. But what changed my heart is when I saw a Vietnam vet, with the MAGA hat, getting mobbed by Antifa. And me coming from a culture where respect the elderly, respect the female, I say, hell no. I hopped in and I fought back. And I came back to Vancouver, did my research, found out I'm an idiot. I've been manipulated by the media. And I make the promise that I will never allow such thing to happen to anybody that come out to take a stand for America. I'm going to be that person to be that human shield in the front line to protect people. I don't care what your beliefs is. Violence against people with different political beliefs from you is not protected under the First Amendment. And I was willing to take a stand there. I was willing to fight back to defend people. And I've always said, and this is why I'm called a white supremacist. Even if the person is a neo-Nazi, a white supremacist, as long as they're not committing violence, I will defend their right to hate my skin color. That's America. That's what it is. We're not fighting a battle between any sides. I don't care what side you win. Right now at the state this country is in, it's not a battle between left versus right, conservative versus liberal, Republican versus Democrat. It's a battle between evil versus good, what's wrong versus what's right. And it's time for people to take a stand. The time to wake up the sheep, the time to educate the sheep is over. It's time to wake up the lions. It's time for everybody to come out and say, hell no. We're not here to cry for change. We're not here to tell you hey, we want change. No, because if we put it the right way, America is the land of the free, the home of the brave. It should have been a change in the first place. We are free people. Why are we asking for freedom? Why are we trying to cry, these politicians, hey, we don't want this, we don't want that. It's either you're free or you're not. I saw a video from one of the brothers. He said, if you have to ask for freedom, you're not free. You're a damn slave. Which is true. And I'm sick and tired of this. I'm not here to ask for change anymore. I am here to remind these tyrants on the top, these evildoers that, hey, when I said don't tread on me, don't tread on me. But I'm not going to say don't tread on me again. I'm going to say tread on me and see what happens.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's my message nowadays. Because I am sick and tired. Our forefathers is turning in their graves. Because this country is a country that was created by men with balls. And now it's run by idiots. And we're still sleeping. When is enough is enough. We say don't tread on me. You fly that flag all the time. And they pass laws against the First Amendment. Guess what? When I came here, educate myself about the history of America, the first law against guns should have been the time to rise up. Should have been the time to rise up.
Shall not infringe.
There's a reason why it says shall not infringe in there. That law right there, the reason why the government is attacking it, because that law gives the people a fighting chance against a tyrannical government that turns on them. What's the use of having it when we're not putting it to good use? What's the use? And yet we're still over here being led by like sheep. Nah, right now, I'm calling on all my lions. Time to take a stand. Time to strike the fear of God in the hearts of tyrants and evil and tell them that no, this country is by the people, for the people, and we the people say no more.
No more, brother.
And I know I got shot. Guess what? It's not going to stop me. I said this in Olympia. The same way I'm standing right now with my crutch. This is how I give back to a country that gave me everything. And even if I lose my legs, I will be there. If I lose my hands, I will be there. As long as there's breath in my body, I will stand for what is right. I will fight for freedom and liberty in America. The question was asked by the brother, what are you willing to sacrifice? They can't lock us all up. They cannot. You know what the real virus is that is really holding this country back? Fear.
Hell yeah.
Fear. And I got a little something here for you. I want to read you this. So this verse right here, Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord our God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Amen. Let me tell you something, people. He never promised us. And I love this one song, this gospel song. He never promised that our life is going to be without trouble, trials, and tribulation. That if you pick up your cross and follow him, it's going to be easy. But one promise he made for you and me, I will never leave you nor forsake you. You know why our country's in this state that we're in right now? We start removing God from everything. There's only one thing that replaces good when you remove it. That's evil. And you need to start waking up. This is a spiritual war. And if it has to turn physical, I'm ready for it.
Hell yeah!
I'm ready for it.
Who will fight with us?
I stood in
Who will
Olympia.
fight with us?
I stood in Olympia, and a lot of people were scared because of what I was saying, Tiny, you're threatening politicians. I said, no, I'm reminding them of their place. Here's the thing. I said to Inslee and all these tyrants, the time to light those cannons from 1775 till 76 where they signed the declaration is coming, and you better be scared, because when the people rise up and we're on our way, we're going to bring the rope with us to hang your trees in his ass.
Yeah, brother!
And they can hear that all they want. They can send people to try to lock Tiny up. I'm ready for it, because I've already gave my word, and my word is my bond, that I will take a stand for this country. And if Tiny falls, my brother, let 10 more, 20 more, 100 more lions rise and take a stand. Do not mourn, the falling of a warrior, but stand up and continue the mission. Stop retreating. Start moving forward. Return this country back to its foundation word. In God we trust. Freedom is the culture, and the Constitution is the law of the land. Start waking up, people. Start waking up. God bless all you guys. Tiny out, red, white, and blue all the way. Whose republic? Our republic. Whose republic? Our republic. Whose republic? Our republic. Whose republic? Our republic. And what will you do for the preservation of this republic? Die, die, die. Whose republic? Our republic. Whose republic?
let tyrants hear you. Hope you heard that, Jay. We ain't mincing words. So, next up, Susan. Lisa. It's Lisa. I knew that.
Well, I hope some of you can acknowledge that I have to follow that. What the hell? Come on. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can look like Tiny, or you can look like me. You can look like Michelle. You can look like exactly how you look, and you can fight for this country. I don't care if you're soft-spoken. I don't care if you're raging like him. He's huge. He's going to back you up, but that's the thing, and that's what makes America so goddamn great, right? None of this BS anymore that we don't know how to unite. Stop dividing to conquer.
Amen.
Knock it off.
Amen.
We're not like that. We are here to come together. And that's the thing, too. We need to hear that. We need to hear that we need to ever overcome them dividing us. Right? How many times do I want to blame it on the other side who doesn't get it? No, I want to do it all the time. But I also hear, and it's not my voice, it's God's voice. And he says, unify, unite, unify, unite. And I say, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. I'm scared. I'm actually really scared because you know what? I know Eric says I'm supposed to die, but I don't know if I want to die. I actually do, actually. I will fight until I die, just so you know. But some of you out there may not feel that way. You're not ready. But that's the thing. You're here. I was just speaking with a woman, and she said, I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can provide. And I'm like, do you know how many people aren't here today? Where are they? Are they out in their boats? Where are they? I don't care. It's not for me to judge. But the thing is when you wake up to the corruption, you can't go to sleep anymore. We beg for that, what is the blue pill? What is it? What's the one that makes you go back to sleep? We beg for it, to have it back again, right? But once you're awake, so who am I? So my name is Lisa Rizak. I'm from North Seattle, and I'm a recovering liberal. Oh, is that not this meeting? Is that not what we're doing here today? So anyways, so what brought me over here today, I came over last night. I drove 3 hours over from Seattle. It's a beautiful day in Seattle. I got my 14-year-old son with the day off. My husband's got the day off. I could have spent a nice day with them, right? I drove over here. I prepared my speech, which actually, you know, you wonder if you're here. You wonder if you're the right person. Do you know how terrified I am to get up and speak every single time? Terrified. I visibly shake sometimes, and I have to put my feet down so you can't see my legs shaking around. So if you don't know if you have the courage, you do. Because you get up there, whether your lips are shaking and your hands are shaking, you don't know what you're going to say. And you might even say it so quiet that people can't hear you, but I don't care. Show up. And that's actually, now let me get back to what I'm doing here, why I'm talking, so I don't just continue to go off on the tangent and all the energy of Tiny. So my name is Lisa. I am with Washingtonians for Change. I'm actually representing 2 different groups here today, but all under education, okay? And that is so important. So I'm with Michelle Lee. She has like so many groups. And I head up the education committee, and I do a couple things. I help manage the group on Telegram. We do weekly calls. And what it is we're basically a group. Since I got involved about 4 months ago, what the idea was is to bring together organizations, groups, individuals from all over the state. And you would be surprised at how many hundreds and thousands there are of us. And the goal was to bring us together, like we're doing today, bring the groups together, put aside egos, put aside agendas, come together so we can fight the way we need to fight, right? So we get together on a weekly basis, and what we did is to share resources, it's to share information, it's to lift us all up. When we share information and we support each other, we're going to lift ourselves all up so that we're starting to kick some butt, because it better get ready, because it's happening. We're ready. So about 4 months ago when I got involved, I really took on, I started a campaign, Unmask Our Children. Well, you know, it's all over the state. There was groups all over the state with the goal to get the masks off the children in school, okay? Unmask Our Kids. It was happening over in Ellensburg. It's happening in, down south with Washougal moms. So what we did is we got together. We started doing legal stuff. We did petitions for grievances. We tried to take to these people legally. We did FOIAs. I don't think we begged, but we argued. We tried to talk productively with them. And it was good. But you know what I learned, and I think a lot of people learned, and this is the most invaluable thing, is that I learned that at best, these people are incompetent. And at worst, they are aggressively and actively going after your children. You think I'm joking? You got to know what's happening in those schools. No, they don't hate them. They want them. They are indoctrinating them. I have a 14-year-old boy, okay? Do you know what it took for me to get him out of school? He thinks I'm crazy, and that's the thing. That's what Michelle said. They had to lie to her to get her to come out of that situation, okay? My 14-year-old boy was like, I want to go to school. So we had to walk the dog with him. He was in a public school in Shoreline. Because if I had done that, my son would have just completely, he wouldn't have believed us. He wouldn't have trusted us. So we had to let him go back to school for a couple days. And then we came up with Plan B. And I swear to God, it was God. Opened up an opening in a private school. No mask, no vax, no LGBTQ, no pronouns, no indoctrination besides the good Lord, thank God. And that's where we have him now. And it happened because he went there and he was so just, he's done, but we gave him that opportunity. So before I digress, the thing is I don't know what you're hearing. I don't know if you're hearing what's happening in these schools. I'm over here. Are you guys hearing what's happening to these children? The way they're indoctrinating them? They have to say their pronouns. I had in my son's school where he doesn't go anymore, they had to role play and and they had to pretend like they were trying to convince somebody to take the vaccine. That was in a junior class. There was on Jim Walsh posted on his Facebook page, a teacher posting that a kindergartner came in, was upset, just fraught with nervousness on his first day of school. Instead of comforting this 5-year-old, this little baby, on his first day of school, a staff worker started to shout at him to pull his mask up over his nose. He started to hyperventilate and couldn't breathe. They still told him to pull his mask up. This teacher from across the room said, get him a bucket, he's going to throw up. This is what they're doing to our kids. Do you understand this? It is abuse. So my first thing here, if you can, get your kids out of there. Get them out of harm's way. Or tell them if they come on that day and they start to, this is happening in Ellensburg, they took the kids aside and they gave them tests against their choice. It is happening. I don't know if you know this. So tell your children, leave the school if something is going down, okay? And we come up with Plan B. If Plan B is to get your kids out of there and have them at home, out of harm's way, that's good Plan B, okay? So here's, I want to get into action though. So here's two things. Michelle Lee is all about action, okay? So a bunch of you were asking me at lunch, what do you guys do? How do you do it? So you got to go to WashingtoniansForChange.org. I expect you at the next break to go over to Michelle Lee, and I want you to get signed up with one of these Telegram channels, because I bet everybody here knows somebody across the state, okay? And that's what we're doing today. We're continuing to share information and get into action, okay? So if you get on like my education committee, you're going to start to help, and you're going to bring other people involved, get other people involved, and we're going to continue to get that grassroots going, okay? So that's the first thing. If you don't talk to Michelle, you can go to WA4change.org, all right? And then you can email her, and then that's how you can get those Telegram channels. So do not forget this. You can always go to Eric or whomever you know, but this is really key stuff, okay? This is partly what we're doing here today, is to inform you, but also to get into action. Now, I'll make this a little brief because I talked about other stuff more than I thought I was going to. The other hat I'm wearing today, and I went to an event about 3 weeks ago with Michelle Darnell. She's with RiseUpWashington.org. And we went there on September 7th with Jim Walsh, Vicki Kraft, all sorts of representatives that are fighting for our children fiercely. And the idea was to take our kids out of school for the day. It was a school strike, okay? And so this is the thing. School choice is unifying. This is a nonpartisan issue. It includes homeschooling. It includes homeschooling co-ops. It includes private schools. It includes new schools that are going to be created when all these teachers go running out of the public school system because they can't stand it anymore. We're going to be creating all these wonderful schools for our children where they can learn about the Constitution, where they can learn, where they can express themselves, where maybe there'll be something up on the wall besides beige paint, right? Okay, so what we're doing, though, is we're going to push. We got 4 short months to go for school choice, and we're going to get it in to legislation in January with the help of those representatives I just mentioned who are on our side. And so what we need to do is you can actually get out your phone and you can text this number, but you can either go to riseupwa.org, so it's riseupwa.org, and you can go and sign up there, because we're going to need lots of volunteers. We're going to need you to spread the word, and we're also going to need money. So what we're hoping for is we're going to be doing a small fundraising launch of only $10,000 to make this happen in 4 months. But we want ads. We need to spread awareness. We need to hire a lobbyist. So I am hoping that you guys can help get involved, whether you can volunteer, make phone calls. And right now, what you could do, if you want, you can text this number if you got your phone available, and it is 360. I will repeat it. It is 612-5230. And what you do, you can come up to me and find me. I'll give you that number. What you can do is you get in the database, and then you can they'll get your information, and then we can find out how you can volunteer and support us, okay? If it's even spreading the word to other people that you know to be able to support us financially. Whatever it is, whatever you can do, and that's what you're doing here today as well. I'm going to give you that number again. It's 360-612-5230. So I'm just going to finish on that. I'm going to assume that you know what's going on with the kids, okay? And we can stick our heads in the sand as long as we want. But this is happening. And that's what I got, is that I am looking reality square in the face, okay? So this is the time to act now. Like we said, that cliff is right behind us. Do what you can to protect your children. I think that's it. God bless you. Thank you for being here. I love you.
My name is Jana, and just a little bit about how I got involved with Washingtonians for Change. I worked with incarcerated youth for 23 years, and I worked with many kids who found that committing crimes and getting locked up was a way of staying safe and not being controlled by a pimp and not being sex trafficked. So I had that awareness of what was going on in the system, but I had no idea how awful and how much of an epidemic it is. So we talk about pandemics, we talk about COVID, but there's another pandemic that has been going on in this world, and that is child sex trafficking. There is, you look at the money that is made through drugs and what the cartel are doing with drugs. Well, the thing is, with drugs, you can only use those once.
A little louder.
With drugs, you can only use those once, and then it's done. But with children, you can use them over and over and over and make that much more money. And that is what is happening to these kids that have been kidnapped and taken out of foster care, out of CPS, and many other ways that they have been able to get these children. I'm here to represent Operation Underground Railroad, not officially because they don't want people officially representing them, because they need to remain bipartisan because they're a nonprofit. But I was able to start a fundraiser on their website. And with that fundraiser, Michelle has given me this platform to be able to come and speak to you and educate you about child sex trafficking. When I went to the Health and Freedom Conference in April in Tulsa, I realized when they interviewed Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in The Passion, how extent it was. Like, that was the beginning of my awareness of how this has infiltrated every aspect of our society. Not just the government, not just Hollywood, but also the church. And it has remained underground, literally, in tunnels, and has not been brought to the surface. Jim Caviezel talked about playing the character of Tim Ballard, who started Operation Underground Railroad back in 2015. He used to work for Homeland Security And he started to see how prevalent it was, not just here in the United States, but around the world. And he wanted to make a difference. He wanted to rescue not just the kids here in the United States, but also in other countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Thailand, you name it. So he left his job with the government, Homeland Security, and he started this operation. And he named it Operation Underground Railroad because if you remember back in Abraham Lincoln's day, that is how they smuggled and were able to get the slaves free, was they smuggled them, Operation Underground Railroad. And his slogan is, I'm an abolitionist. And I want you to know that if I can make a difference by speaking about this issue, by helping people understand how corrupt, how evil it is, and that there's something that you can do to help with that, that's what I'm here for. So, when I came back from the Health and Freedom Conference, I checked out their website, and anybody can start a fundraiser. Anybody can help with that. This organization not only does investigations with Homeland Security, with FBI, with law enforcement, but they go in and they literally have missions where they rescue children. To help meet the needs of these children who have been under the ground. Some of these children, that's all they've known is underground. They haven't been up on the surface at all. They are just transported underground in tunnels. When I realized that there was something that I could do, there wasn't anything that would stop me. And I wanted you to know that the reason I'm so passionate about this issue is because I have my own story. I have what I went through growing up and what happened to me from my dad. There was a period in the 90s where it was so severe that it wasn't until I was 31 that these memories started surfacing for me. And I started realizing what happened to me. If I didn't have God, if I didn't have the Holy Spirit and Jesus, I don't know how I could have gone through the 5-year process of healing that I went through. But in that process, God walked me through it. And he carried me at times because it was so hard to look at and feel the pain that I went through. But I came to a place where I could forgive my dad for what he did. And there's no way in my humanness that I could ever do that. But through Jesus' love and what he did for us on the cross, he loved me even when I was a sinner. He loved me no matter what I've done. And he loves each and every one of you, including those who have perpetrated these acts against children. I wrote a poem during this process back in the 90s. And I asked the Lord, before I went to the conference, I said, Lord, what can I give to these people who are speaking truth, who are standing up for our rights, who are standing up for the children? What can I give them to thank them for all that they are going through? And the next morning I woke up and I had this vision of my poem that I'd written back in the 90s. And I had it made and I was able to give it to a lot of the speakers that were at the conference. And I'd like to share it with you. As an eagle soars, the eagle flies high as it soars in the sky, surrendering itself to the wind. Perfect trust in what cannot be seen, to heights it has never been. Amazing grace with its wings outstretched, such strength goes beyond measure. Yielded and at peace, resting in God, in his good pleasure. Oh, to know the power of his love, surrendering myself to his wind, Holy Spirit, keep lifting me higher, higher than I've ever been. Such grace, such strength, such peace, and such rest. You alone know my every need. Trusting you to supply the best, I spread my wings and soar. And the scripture is Isaiah 40:31 that says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." We are all in this battle together. We are all standing up for what is right and what is true. And we have a God who is a God of justice. And he is going to fight this battle because this is his battle. It is a battle against good and evil. And we are just his army. We're out speaking truth. We're out waking people up because their time is short. And what has been hidden in darkness for decades is going to be exposed into the light. So President Trump made this statement: "Human trafficking erodes personal dignity and destroys the moral fabric of society. It is an affront to humanity that tragically reaches all parts of the world." We're in this battle together. And we have a president who's fighting for these children. And when he comes back into office, that fight is going to continue. But he's going to have an army behind him that he didn't have before the election. Because we are getting stronger in this fight. As the more resistance, when you're working out, the more resistance you experience, the stronger you get. And that is what is happening right now. So I have a table over there. I have to leave soon. But what I would like to do as a thank you for giving to Operation Underground Railroad, if you give $25, I will be happy to give you a copy of this poem that I was able to give the speakers. And just thank you so much.
Hey, JD.
So in the beginning, I forgot to tell you, my goal to all of this is I've committed myself. I figure I can always go back and do my career in real estate investing. But our country needs us right now. So I put my career on hold. And originally when I got into this, was to flip Washington red. And that's how I'm going to do it. And it's just not from mainstream patriot, but in all community. I've reached out to all the Asians community. Now I'm working on the African American communities and then the Hispanic community, American community, because we all need everybody in this fight because it's very powerful that the power of pull machine is taken over and we're not going to let them. We have to give it our best and the rest, God will take care of this. But it's so important that we get in and we do this and we do it together. So at this time, I like to introduce my new family. I got a chance to start reaching out, do community outreach. Alita and Apostle Eric and her team and the amazing work that they've been doing. So I'm trying to get that population of displaced resident back to help and also to vote because they are just as powerful as we are. We just need to give them time to get in and do this, and they're the ones that's going to lead them. So here you go.
Bless you all. She's already more than introduced me, I guess. Apostle Eric. We know the issues. We've heard the issues.
Louder!
We've heard the issues. We know the issues, so I won't rehash the issues. I'm more interested today to sound a clarion call to those of us who call ourselves Christian. Now, we can add that title to just about anything today. anything that says I believe in God can be Christian today. But what I think we should be doing is deciding in our own hearts and mind as to whether or not we are his disciples. Because Christians are just a collective of people today, it seems, whereas disciples are those who really follow him. And we're talking about having our liberties being stripped away from us. The disciple understands that we are to stand free in the liberty by which we were made free. And if we are made free, we can't be unmade free. Would you agree? Yeah. So we need to be disciples and not just Christians. We're talking about government today. We're talking about government and how the government of men are failing us. But there's another word in the Bible that has to do with government, and it was translated erroneously into an assembly of people, and that word is commonly known as church. But originally that word was in the Greek language written ecclesia. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a biblical lesson here. Christ and his apostle Peter were having a conversation, and he says, Peter, and I'll paraphrase for the sake of time, who do you say I am? And Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And he says, Peter, you've spoken right. And he says, upon this rock, that word was actually revelation, or this revelation understanding, this ability that you just demonstrated, I will build my ecclesia, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Now understand this. The gate represented City Hall. The gate represented the court. And the ecclesia was a term that they would have understood because that was what Herod had at the time, was a Roman Senate. So he was saying, listen, folks, upon this revelation of who I am, I will build my government of people, and the gates or the courts or the government of hell and those who lead from a position of sin will not prevail against it. We shouldn't be losing. We shouldn't be losing anywhere because we are the government of God. And the reason we are failing, and I'll make this the last statement, the reason things are not getting done the way they should be getting done is because we're trying to unite when we should be becoming one. Jesus' prayer was that we would become one as he and the Father are one. What's the difference? We can all be here united together and not be on one accord about anything. But when we are one, that's when we are pushing all together towards one common goal as the government of God. And there we know is the success that we desire because the gates of hell cannot prevail against the oneness of God. Amen. So I would like to just encourage you all, if you name the name of Christ, as my brother Tiny said so eloquently, right is right and wrong is wrong. Are you going to be a Christian? That's okay. But I need disciples today. I need you to turn those plowshares into swords and stand for what is right, what is true, and what is just. Yes. I love you all.
Evangelize freedom.
All right. Hello, family. Hello. I'm the big mouth one of the group. And my name is Apostle Alita Haskins, and I'm super duper duper excited for being here today. I've heard a lot of good things. Two things that I heard, I can't remember the persons that were up here. One was, we need our men back. We need our men back. We need our men back.
Because what God says is that Christ is the head of every man, and man is the head of every woman. Not to submit where you control her. You know what I mean? But we need you men. And so, again, my testimony and my story is born and raised in the church. I'm the fourth of 12 children. Born and raised in church. My dad's a pastor today. God took my mom home 2 years ago. But at the age of 16, I became distracted and introduced to a lot of things. And a lot of those things were, I was addicted to crack. I was introduced to meth. I was introduced to heroin. I was introduced to pills. I was introduced to alcohol. I was introduced to cigarettes, where that led me down at the age of 16 on a 30-plus year battle of addiction. So I was an addict for 30-plus years. I was on 13 different mental psych meds. I've been to 2 mental institutions in a padded cell. I've been stabbed in my back 4 times, vertebrae's been cracked, back's been fractured. But God, I'm telling you, but God. 12 years ago, I decided to pull back on my foundation and my uproots and my teaching. My parents were prayer warriors, and I don't take anything from them. But I had to do my part, and I had to cry out to God. And when I started crying out to God, then things started changing for me. Things started happening differently for me. The things that I wanted to do, the places I wanted to go, I didn't want to go anymore because God was moving things out of my way. So I had to have the trust and the faith in him to believe that what I was leaving behind, it really wasn't that important. So in 2008, I was to be sentenced to 10 years in prison. So technically, I should just be getting out. I shouldn't be looking at you all right now. But God turned a 10-year sentence into 90 days. When I got out, I'm telling you guys, I fought. I went back to school, moving forward for the sake of time. I went back to school at 43 years old, 12 years ago. 43 years old just to get my GED. And then from there, I had college under my belt, some college, and God was taking me here, there, and everywhere to share my testimony of deliverance. And from that point on, I knew that the heart of the people, the way God had transformed my life. And I wish I would have bought my pictures today. I didn't know the setting, but I have them on my phone for those of you that like to look. But anyway, I, from the age of 43, went back and got my GED. Then I turned around, and I knew God wanted me to make a change, make a difference, and go back into the community, go back into the settings that he delivered me out of. So it's been 12 years, and today I work temp agencies. I work for McLean Northwest, Amazon, and then God started blessing me with properties. I started getting properties. I started housing the people. I started going back into the prison systems. I started sharing my story. The guards were impressed. The guards had already deemed me, let alone the courts, had already deemed me a menace to society. But today, I'm the CEO and the director and founder of God's House of Second Chances, clean and sober, faith-based transitional housing unit. I'm the CEO and director of God's House of the Circle of Life Tacoma Hub. It's a community hub station where we also go in and we abolish the unjust. We have protest meetings where we abolish the unjust in the prison system. I'm also the CEO and director of the TCC, the Church Cafe. I'm also the CEO and the director and founder of the Circle of Life Garden and Farms. So I'm super duper duper excited to be up here with all this farmland. Yeah. So I'm just saying to you all that when we go out, the team of us, we go out every single Thursday. And we go back into the tents. We go back into the encampments. We don't call them homeless. We call them displaced residents. Because a lot of them and their situations aren't all due to addiction. They're not all due to mental illness. And a lot of it is, yes. But the addiction didn't happen on the corner when they had the drug sack, when they had the crack pipe, or when they had the blunt in their mouth on the corner the day of arrest. Some of them happened because they didn't have a choice because of their home environment. So they became a product of their environment, which caused them to push them out to the streets. But today, we're from Tacoma, And today I'm fighting. I need you guys' help. When I say I need you guys' help to these abandoned buildings that are down in our community, these abandoned hotels that are down in our communities, the homeless people or the displaced residents are down there sleeping in front of these buildings, and they could be letting us utilize those to make detox centers and treatment facilities and housing facilities for these people. So again, today, and a lot of the men, and I tell the men in there, you guys have got to rise. You're kings. They're kings and queens out there. They got to rise above their situations. And the only way that they can do that is if we show them the love that they need, because they've already been crushed. They've already been stepped on. They've already been rejected, and they've already been turned away. But we go back in there and we let them know, and I let them know my testimony. I let them know, and I let them see my pictures. So I'm saying today that we're better together. We're better together if we just come together in unity and help these, because what are they doing? They're sitting in front of your businesses. They're living in front of your businesses. What are they doing? They're giving them literally eviction notices and moving them from campsite to campsite. That's not giving them the help they need. So today I have 5 properties where I house individuals coming out of homelessness and incarceration. These 2 beautiful young ladies, there are some of the women up in the houses. They wanted to be here today. And I'm telling you guys that we need your help. We all need to come together and do what it is, because the Bible says this, that the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. You all, there are people, not saying that you all been judging them or anything, but they are just individuals with skills and talents. And if we can just have enough belief in them to pull those skills. There are carpenters. I was telling some of the individuals here today that I have retired military in the houses. I have doctors that used to be dermatologists in the houses. Things happen. And now they're getting back on their feet. So I'm just saying to you all today, man, we're better together. Thank you for this time.
Thank you, Alita and Eric and the team. I met them yesterday, heard their story, and I was just so moved. I invited them here. Don't leave. We're going to take a group pictures, because every month when we do this, we take a group picture so that we can see our new friends and, invite you to the next event that we have. It's always the last Saturday of every month when we come together. Oh, one more person. She's just going to say 30-second about...
So Michelle mentioned the snitches in your neighborhood. They actually guise under different names, your local this and that, and they'll get your information, and then they're going on Facebook, and then they're reporting back to people. So another thing I'd like you to look up in your safe Google search or wherever you're searching is the initials ICLEI. I'm going to repeat that. It's ICLEI. You need to look into that to see if your city or your city councils or anybody is involved, and your counties, by the way, are involved. Vancouver, Washington, USA is a member of the United Nations membership of the ICLEI. That's why they're undermining America, and we people need to spread the word, get the knowledge out. And I also want to suggest flying the flag upside down in distress, and go to all your school board meetings, your city council, and your city planning committees. Let them know who we are, because the drain starts here in the state of Washington. Amen, and God is good.
Woo! I have almost no voice left, so you're going to get what you get. So as we're wrapping up, I want to make something very, very, very apparent. People try to gauge the success of stuff typically by who was there. Remember, the most important people that were here today were you guys. Literally, quite each and every one of you guys. It's not what we do for liberty, it's what we're willing to lose for liberty. And what is liberty? Liberty is God. God is agency, God is freedom, God is choice. God didn't send us a tyrant to control us, right? That would have been the devil, that would have been Satan. We're not supposed to live like that. We're supposed to live free. and we're supposed to reap the benefits, the rewards, and the punitive damages of our punishments. That's the reason that we're here. We can't allow anybody to take that. And like I said, everything begins and ends with the people that are in this crowd today. Schedule a lunch, a dinner. Invite friends and family over. Begin talking. Begin having the conversations. And don't lose focus. The focus is this. There's a very good chance men will appear at your door and tell you that you have to do something. Go have that conversation very privately, very judiciously. I'll warn you all of this. Many of the people that are in this crowd today know many people that are sitting in prison cells for things they said, not for things they did. Be judicious. Be cautious. But sit with like-minded folks and begin to have these conversations. If a tyrant comes to our door and demands that we ... It's up to you guys to fill in the line. The continual outsourcing of the preservation of our liberties to the same people that devour them have led us here. Go have a dinner. Go join an organization. Donate some money. Gather some signatures. Become a PCO. Put some effort into that. But put the real effort into the conversations about how you will preserve this republic. Because it's just us. We tried to trust in the plan, right? One of the ways that we ended up here, guys, is more people can quote QAnon than can quote Julian Assange or Edward Snowden.
True story.
What if I told you there was no plan? And the plan was to have no plan. And the plan was to make you sit on your hands. What if I told you the plan was to go gray? Don't rock the boat. Don't make waves. Hey, let's replay that real quick. What happens if you're sitting in the damn water and you're not making waves? You're sinking. Make waves. Make tidal waves. Make them in your personal connections. Make them in your conversations. But it's up to us. Do you all understand that it's on our shoulders right now? The people that show up to these events. It's what you do next, guys. Be judicious. Be patriots. Don't be pragmatic. Put God in your hearts and just go forward. We don't have any other inches to give, guys. Every inch we give, again, is a link of chain that they bind us in. So it's what you do after this event, the connections that you make, what you choose to do with your time. I belong to an organization. I'm a member of the Washington 3%, and I'm damn proud of it. And my family, anybody I run with, they've had to suffer the consequences of that. So I thank them all for coming along with me and doing that. But I need you to do the same thing, even if it's not joining my org. In my organization, we have 4 pillars that we conduct ourselves as a moral compass. And they are prepare, support, unite, defend. I'm going to say it again. Prepare, support, unite, defend. Those of you that are still here, can I get you to do that for me? Yes. A little bit louder. Yes. I know you can. God bless America. Get ready, dig in. We're saving this thing. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied to you. I do have like 2 other people, maybe 3. Where's Don Amon? Don with a D. All right, here we go. So Don Amon was nice enough. He could have went and did event after event today with thousands of people. There's a ton of stuff going on, but he wanted to be with his own people, so he came here. This is this is Minuteman Coffee. This is Don right here. So, Don Amon.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Sort of late in the afternoon. Thanks for hanging out with us. So, yeah, Minuteman Coffee. I don't know if you've heard of us or whatnot, but we're sort of making a splash in the coffee world. Started the company about a little over a year and a half ago, not just on a whim, but what I realized that my wife and I don't know if any of you guys remember because the prostitute media, that's all out there, have covered it up, but October 1st, 2017 was sort of a pinnacle day in our life. And for those of you who don't know, that we were in Las Vegas during the shooting, and miraculously we made it through and realized that there was a reason why we are here. And when we launched Minuteman Coffee, one of the biggest questions people ask me all the time is, why? Why are you doing this? And coffee is the one thing that brings us together. So as patriots, as freedom and liberty loving Americans who who love our Bible, who love the Word, The Constitution, for me, is the second most important document ever written. Am I right? Or so, with the Constitution, our children, our grandchildren, they're not being taught what they're losing. And if they don't understand what they're losing, they'll never know that they lost it. And when my 2-year-old, now as he grows older and he comes to me and says, Papa, what did you do? We have a platform, national now, that we can speak and bring the Constitution back. Because to me, that is the second most important document ever written. The fact that coffee brings us together is a critical aspect in our daily lives, whether it's Minutemen or whether it's any of the other woke companies that throw you under the bus because of your beliefs. But the reality is that we need to gather together. The prostitute media, the narrative, they're distracting us for what's really going on. So whenever they're talking about something and they're hypersensitizing it and whatnot, we need to look at what are they trying to cover up. Whether it's Arizona, we all saw what happened there. We need to wake up. We need to start putting together and come together as a community and not be afraid of the cancel culture. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing like standing or sitting in the Senate Judiciary hearing with 400 angry liberals, the most evil environment you've ever seen, when you try to go and stand up against the village idiot, Inslee. Every time they try to pass a gun law because of what they think happened in Las Vegas, or what any other false flag event that you can throw a dart at. So we need to stand up. We need to actually come together and not be afraid of the cancel culture. Because one thing that I've noticed in the public eye now is the liberals want to destroy us. They are baby killers. You know who you are. And I refuse to let some unelected bureaucrat baby killer tell me what I can and can't do as a business owner, as an employer, as an American. You've got to be kidding me. As Joe Biden said, come on, man. I mean that loosely. People ask me if I'm Republican or Democrat. I'm neither. I am neither. I am what they call a pure constitutionalist. Anybody who's known me for any length of time, if it falls within the scope of the Constitution of the United States, I will follow it to my last dying breath. Anything outside of that, absolutely not. Don't even ask. There is no gray area. And that's the backbone of Minutemen Coffee. We are unapologetically patriotic. And I'm trying to get that word out and spread that word across the entire country. Because I think people will rally together for a cause and for a belief. And if we don't do this, we're going to wake up sooner rather than later. They're going to be knocking at your door. They're already weaponizing L&I. They're already weaponizing OSHA. Where do we, as conservative Americans, draw the line? It's a great question. Something you need to think about. Something you need to get together with your neighbors and friends and family and talk over a cup of coffee. Because on December 13th, 1773, that's our Christmas. That was the day we became a coffee-drinking nation. That's when Sam Adams and John Hancock and the Indians threw the tea in the harbor. So I guess with that being said, I guess y'all get ready because it's coming. That's the reality. And it's going to come, and they are coming for us. They're coming for our families. They're coming for our children and our grandchildren. What are we going to do to stop them? If they're that passionate about taking us out, why are we not just as passionate? That escapes me. And I can't get that across enough. Don't let the liberal hacks tell us what we can and can't do. We are free men and women. Amen. That's it. I'm at a loss now, guys, but thank you. Inslee for prison.
Yeah.
Got to bend at the knees here a little bit. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Eric Young. I'm also a Washington State 3%er. I'm the state training officer. You heard earlier our 4 pillars: prepare, support, unite, and defend. You know, a lot of people mistake us for militia. Well, that might have been like 40, 50 years ago. But see, we actually got some brains in the organization. Our enemy's not fighting that kind of fight. It's a battle of intelligence as far as military style intelligence. It's a battle of social media. So, how does that change what we do as Americans? First off, you gotta train like you fight. So, those that showed up today, thank you on your first training event. Because this is where it starts. Coming together, getting your voices heard. Once people start seeing that there's others not afraid to talk, you'll start networking. People start coming together. People start throwing shindigs like this. So we have a safe zone to be able to share ideas and share concepts to bring our country back. All right? So prepare, support, unite, and defend. It starts here. And what I encourage every person here, when you go back to your communities, get involved. There's a lot of spots in your counties and in your cities, people run unopposed. When I look out in the crowd here, I see school board members, I see PCOs, I see county commissioners. That is all right here in this group. And the only way we're going to change Washington State is to start at the local level. Give your county the muscle it needs to stand up in Olympia. All right? Now, you're going to probably go home today and you're going to see all sorts of media hits about what we tried to accomplish here today. You're going to see those typical hashtags, white supremacists, hashtag nationalists. All right? So, your task is to try and create conversation, not with the enemy. We already know they're not going to change. But we know people in our communities that are frustrated, and they're looking to be able to speak freely about that with people that think the same thing. Reach out to your communities. Find organizations to get involved with. We've got groups like Concerned Citizens of Washington State. We've got 3%. Whatever it takes to create a network for you to gain momentum and build strength. Because every time there's an election process, there's people with our way of thinking that are running. But they go unheard because the voice is not loud enough from groups like ours. People with our way of thinking. So we got 2022 coming up. Get involved. One way or another. I'm not saying join a party. I'm saying be a voice. Because they cannot silence all of us. And it's up to every single one of us. So, train like you fight. Remember, it's a battle of words right now. I mean, I'm 20 years Marine Corps infantry. Believe me, I'm more comfortable with a rifle on me and wearing a bulletproof vest. I'm used to that. But that's not the fight that we have here. It's about the furthest thing from it. So you got to start thinking like the enemy does. They're controlling the media. They're controlling our elections. So the louder we are, it'll be a voice they cannot ignore. I'm not going to say we're going to change it overnight, but if you could force some of these elected officials to state their official position, then that's what you can run against. All right. Once again, thank you all for coming. I know it's been a hot day, especially if you came from the west side. This is cool for the east side. We are in triple digits most of the summer. But thank you so much for coming out here. Make sure is there anybody with closing remarks? Yeah. All right. I'll hand it over to our state lead for Washington State 3%.
Go falling over backwards.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking out. Thanks for showing up again. This actually been a much better turnout than I kind of anticipated last night. I was kind of worried that it might just be me and Eric out here, but appreciate y'all showing up. I want to give a shout out and a special thanks to Steve and his wife Renee, for allowing us to throw this event here on this wonderful piece of property. This place is beautiful, folks. Yeah, thank you guys so much. They were a huge help putting this thing together. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our last person to speak, James Blair. He's got a swag shop over here set up, it's the Liberty gear. So if you guys feel like spending a little bit of money.
No, fuck that. Don't worry about that.
Okay, he's got enough for the day. So anyway, James, let her rip, bro.
What's up, everyone? So they've tried to get me to talk at a few of these events for a while, and most of the time I'm too drunk by the time it comes up, so it doesn't work out. For anyone that doesn't know me, my name is James Blair. Most of you have probably never heard of me before, and some of you have heard some probably pretty messed up shit about me. I'm on city council out in Yelm, Washington, which is over on the Commie Coast side. And like a few others have said before, I've been called everything from white supremacist, a right-wing nut job, to a racist, everything. Everything I've if it's under the sun, I've been called it, and I don't care. But all of you out here, as Erica said, fight for what you believe in, straight up. If, however that path takes you, is what you should do. But I don't know where y'all live in here. But if you live in a small town, you live in a medium-sized city, whatever it is, run. File to run. Because I'll tell you right now, if this guy can win, you can. And the only way anything is ever going to change is if some people with some fucking brains get into our government. So with that, and I know Dana is going to put this on YouTube, Jim and Tim, where the fuck are you? So have a good night. I love you all.
All right, guys. Thanks again for coming. We're going to shut her down. Drive safe. Get home safe. Remember, even if you don't have kids, attend your school district meetings. Get involved with that.
The group picture?
Oh, Michelle Lee would like to catch a group picture. I know we've got a third of the crowd that was here, but let's see if we can all, I don't know, meet out in front of the flag.
Yeah. Flag. Yeah.
All right. Who? Yeah. Sure.
Guys, I think it's,
Actually, guys, we're
winding
going to have
up.
one more person that
just
wants to
kidding.
speak here. Autumn Torres? Okay, go ahead.
Hey guys, one of our real good friends here. We've got a group up here in this area, and we've actually supported a lot of city council, people running for city council, school boards, and county commissioner. And we've got Autumn Torres here with us. She'd like to say a few words. Thanks, Autumn.
All right. Sorry about that. I was at another campaign thing. I would much rather be out here. So I just want to thank you guys for coming out. I know a lot of people came from across the mountains. And I just want to say, keep being brave. Keep doing just the next thing every day, because they're trying to wear us down, make us tired. We all know people who've lost their businesses. They've lost their livelihoods. This mandate that's coming up, it can be really discouraging. So I want to just thank all of you for coming out today, and just to encourage you, there are way more of us than we know. So just keep doing the next thing, and we can do this one step at a time. So thank you guys so much. Don't give up. Keep being brave. Thank you.
Thank you, Autumn.
All right, I think that's it. I was gonna do talk about a couple things, but I am super hungry and I have a super long drive home. So I'm gonna.
All right, come on here. Come on, everyone.
Everybody, if you would, if we could get everybody to kind of come around and get a group picture in front of the stage here, that'd be great.
All right, everybody. Well, it looks like this is it for the event. So, I mean, if you like my content, obviously, like, share, subscribe my videos. Share this with everybody. Hit the like button to help with the algorithms on YouTube. And of course, if y'all don't know, Facebook has booted me or banned me for about, I don't know how long. They never specified that. So I would suggest harass the living Hades out of Facebook to undo
Hello?
my.
Can we have your attention, please? It's just one more minute. Can we get everyone back up here just for a group picture? Thank you.
There you are.
I don't like photos.
Oh, you don't gotta be in picture. You're my security again today. What are you guys filming this for?
Just for us, just for the internet.
Oh, okay. I do it for the Common Sense Conservative. It's a CSC media group. It's a news company that
Okay, yeah, but one thing,
put it out there.
if you want to follow me on alternative, yes, thank you very much. But yeah, if you want to follow me on alternative platforms and you don't want to do it through like people, places like Parler or Rumble, I have accounts for those as well. But if you don't like really the right-leaning, like the extreme right-leaning or Trump platforms, then follow me on places like Minds.com. That's MINDS.com. Or PocketNet. PocketNet is also pretty decent. Both Minds and PocketNet have their own forms of cryptocurrency. So if you want to donate that way, or if you just want alternative platforms that don't really have much of a leaning, whether it be to the left or the right, those are two highly recommended platforms. I haven't really posted anything on Minds and forever. I haven't posted anything on PocketNet yet, but still, make accounts for those and follow me on those just in case I get booted off of all the other main platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, because it looks like I'm about to be perma-yeeted off of YouTube, not YouTube, off of Facebook. So yeah, just follow me there. And please donate to me, to my Cash App. And I love all of you. And peace out, deuces. And let me see if I can figure out how to exit this.
3.5 hour drive home.